Jane and Jessie in the morning.
Hello, and welcome to our learning module brought to you by Plugs and Seattle Children's Hospital. This new series consists of short video segments focused on interesting and important topics related to test utilization management.
Many places have committees, but they're not always effective at implementing rules. While there really is no one-size-fits-all, this module, the committee, more than just a fling, includes critical points to consider when developing and implementing a successful committee at your institution. It turns out creating a good committee is kind of like going on a good first date.
This might get awkward. I hate first dates.
I know what you mean. I had this date once where I was so impressed with the guy. We showed up at this very fancy restaurant, and it turns out he hadn't even made reservations. We ended up eating at Taco Bell.
That is exactly my point. The first step to creating a successful committee is to make those reservations.
You want to establish a consistent meeting time, location, and frequency. It's a delicate but important balance between meeting too frequently and not meeting frequently enough.
So are you telling me you don't think it's a good idea if I call every few hours or so? That might explain where I went wrong with Steven.
Exactly. Anyway, you do want to be respectful of everyone's time while setting clear expectations for productive meetings. So you could start by meeting weekly or bi-weekly, and you can always cut it back after expectations are established.
So Jessie, who actually is the one who's supposed to call and make the reservations?
Well, it really doesn't matter who it is. It's just that someone should do it. Someone should be delegated to appoint the production of the meeting, all parts. So that includes scheduling, agenda management, facilitation, and really keeping everyone on track.
I think I get it now. A date can't run smoothly without having reservations, but there's got to be more to it. I've been on plenty of dates where I've had a lot of reservation, and still it didn't quite work out.
Well, Jane, that's just chemistry, or lack thereof. So a great date really needs more than just reservations. You really need to set the table.
Yeah, have you ever sat in a committee meeting, Jessie, and wondered how we ever get anything done without Jane at the table? This might give you similar flashbacks to a bad date where you're thinking, why am I out with Bob and not Jake? And then your husband might wonder, why is Jane out with Bob or Jake? You really need people with the right knowledge and skills who are involved in the day-to-day work of test utilization.
Right, because most of our commonly misused and expensive tests are genetic tests. Perhaps you should consider using a genetic counselor, like me, or maybe a medical geneticist, and consider making them a part or a permanent member of your committee.
I think you're acting a little desperate.
Right, so it's not all about me, apparently. So really, from the laboratory side, you could consider including your medical director, billing and compliance officer, manager of molecular testing, and other laboratory medicine faculty, like a clinical chemist or pathologist.
And similar to this date, Jessie, you might find that after a few meetings, you need to shift the members around a little bit. It's okay to readjust and to say to Bob, thank you, Bob, for introducing me to this restaurant. I'm going to continue coming and eating here in the future, but in the interest of respecting your time, you won't be expected to join me.
Right, so we've made the reservations. We have the right people at the table. Sorry, Bob. Is that all we really need to have a good date? Is there something else that we're missing?
Don't think we're quite there yet, Jessie. It doesn't end when the date ends. It's imperative that you don't fall in the Carly Rae Jepsen trap of calling me maybe.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe.
You don't want to leave people hanging. It never feels good, you can take it from me, to wonder how the date went and when you will have the next one. Similarly, accountability is critical for your committee.
So create a progressive agenda which lists action items and dates for which you want them achieved by. At every meeting, you should ask everyone for updates and keep people on track and accountable for what their expectations are.
That's right, but you also need to keep in mind that some items may not be destined for completion. Just like after a first date, if you don't hear back after a few days, even after you might call several times, it's best to just cut your losses and let it go.
It's gonna be okay, Jane. But really, timing is everything, and it's okay to reprioritize as situations evolve. Some agenda items can even be handled offline. Like if you're reviewing a document, you can send it around by email. Or perhaps you would consider creating a subcommittee for items on the agenda that really require much more discussion.
And sometimes a text message is really all you need, like, call you later, great date.
Well, this really was a fun date, Jane. So why don't we review the 3 tips for creating a successful committee. So number 1, remember to make those reservations. Establish a consistent meeting time, location, and frequency.
Number 2, set that table. Make sure the appropriate people are invited and attend. Don't get stood up.
And finally, don't call me maybe. Call me Jessie. Just kidding. Follow up, have accountability, and make sure that they follow up on those action items.
Until next time,
Jane and Jessie in the UM.